Welcome to St. Louis Cardinal baseball. The Cincinnati Reds are in town. Game 1 of a 3-game weekend series begins here tonight. Albert Pujols, the day off yesterday, he's ready to soar tonight. Offensive star yesterday was David Freese, who had 6 RBIs in yesterday afternoon's game, including his first home run as a Cardinal. Tyler Green also made a contribution. He hit his first home run of the 2010 season as the Cardinal offense exploded here against Atlanta. Welcome to the telecast. This is Rick Horton. I'm filling in for Dan McLaughlin here tonight alongside Al Roboski. And Al, that was a fantastic series the Cardinals just concluded with the Braves.
It was. It was a dominant performance by all the Redbirds. They outscored Atlanta 25-11. They had a lot of extra base hits. The starting pitching was great, but the bullpen even better. ERA under 1. Bobby Cox intentionally walked 8 different Cardinal players. It worked 4 of the times. 4 times he got outs following with the next hitter. 4 times that man produced an RBI base hit.
The offense was good. The starting pitching's been great. We'll look at our starting pitchers and a whole lot more when we come back.
A youngster, only 24 years of age, still looking for his first win of the season. He's made 5 starts, or tonight will be his 5th start. Only 1 is quality. He can be tough, and he can also really struggle. Brad Penny, nothing struggling about him. He has just dominated this year. ERA under 1, 3-0, 7-2 lifetime against the Reds. He's already beaten them once this year.
There's a look at your pitchers tonight. Let's take a look back when we come back at the great plays of the month of April. Here's a look at the Central Library in downtown St. Louis, one of our many wonderful buildings here in this historic city. The Cardinal fans filing in for Game 1 of a 3-game set with the Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds, like the Cardinals, Al Roboski, playing very good baseball.
Yeah, the Reds have won 4 straight games as well as the Cardinals, so something has to give here. And the Cardinals have the best record in the National League. You hope that continues, and it looks like we've dodged the rain where we're going to get this game underway, and we hope we can get it completed.
The tarp is off the field. We had some rain early on. Here is the batting order for the Cincinnati Reds, and Dusty Baker's ball club begins with Drew Stubbs, Brandon Phillips, and Joey Votto here in the first. Votto and Bruce both homering last night, the hottest of the Reds hitters here tonight. Johnny Cueto will bat 9th and pitch for Cincinnati. And our starter for the Redbirds is Brad Penny.
Well, you can see that making his 4th start. 2nd time he's facing the Reds. He defeated them in the opening series in Cincinnati. 3-0 ERA, microscopic 0.94, and he has really controlled the walks. He's kept those down. He hasn't allowed a home run, and pitching some of his best baseball in his lifetime.
He's our Marshall Wireless starting pitcher here tonight, and very interesting, Al, that he has had the lowest run support of any of the Cardinal starters. Very, very surprising. You think about his start at 3-0, but the Cardinals managing just 2.3 runs per game in his outings. But the offense certainly came alive here last night against Atlanta.
Well, he pitched so well he hasn't really needed it. But only 9 runs have scored while he's pitched in his first 4 starts.
And we'll take a look at the Cardinal defense behind Brad Penny here tonight. Holiday, Colby Rasmussen, John Jay gets a start in right field tonight. The rookie. It's from the left side. Of course, the infield Freese, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols, and Yadier Molina and Brad Penny are our battery. That's our Dobbs Cardinal defense. And the crowd still filing in here. A little bit of a concern about the weather downtown, as Al mentioned. We had high winds here this afternoon and a little bit of rain. Nothing too bad, but
it's coming.
It's on its way, and we just hope that the Cardinals can get off to a good start here tonight for Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa and Dusty Baker, always an interesting combination when these two go at each other. Dusty Baker, a 3-time National League Manager of the Year.
Very competitive in their nature. Dusty really at the end of his career finished his playing career playing for Tony La Russa in the Oakland A's, but They have a love-hate relationship. Mostly love, but every now and then when he wore the Cub uniform, there was a little hate.
And the first pitch from Penny is a fastball, strike one, and we're underway.
Mark Penny's been so good at controlling the strike zone, and really was accentuating his last start of not maxing out his velocity, just making sure he throws strikes.
And this one's to center field. Rasmus back to the track and makes the play, drifting back towards the wall. That ball traveled quite a long way. Not a lot of breeze here in the ballpark, but that ball carried to center field off the bat of Drew Stubbs.
Well, I think we're going to see that there is more wind than it looks right now. Talking about wind, the Cincinnati Ball Club got in about 3 a.m. and they actually, coming in for their final descent, they were about 10-15 feet off the ground, and the pilot had to take the plane back up as they ran into some 50-mile-an-hour wind shears. And they eventually got down. He said, boys, if we didn't make it that time, we were going to Kansas City or Louisville.
It's been quite a bus trip that time in the morning to get here to be in time for this game. Brandon Phillips, the second baseman for Cincinnati, hits with one out in the Reds first.
Sorry, it didn't happen for him.
That's right. Phillips, a dangerous hitter, a lot of power, not a big guy, but he swings hard, doesn't get cheated, and he hits this one down the right field line. We'll see if he tries for two. He runs well as John Jay gets to it in a hurry, and throw into second base is not in time. And a one-out double for Brandon Phillips.
Brandon Phillips is a terrific ball player, as you said. He's can really do a lot of things. Albert is way off the first base line, so he has no chance on that ball that is down and away. And Jay gets over there and cuts it off. Anytime an outfielder runs to the left or right that far, it's going to be a sure extra base hit.
And that was our Fox track, brought to you by Southwest Air, and we'll revisit that throughout the evening and check out the location of pitches. And that pitch high and away to Joey Votto. Votto, I mentioned, hit a home run last night. Has 4 on the season. He has a very good left field stroke, a little bit like Jim Edmonds, a lot of power the other way.
Yeah, he's just a terrific hitter, and this is one inning that Brad Penny has to watch. He's only given up 4 runs all year. 3 of those 4 have come in the first inning.
Penny behind 2-0. He has shown a great assortment of pitches this year. He's got the split, curveball, fastball, change speeds very well. Not afraid to throw that off-speed pitch when he's behind in the count.
Yeah, his last time out in San Francisco, he really incorporated the straight change more than normal. You know, something we normally see him really is to back off. He throws the splitter, but he was throwing pitches that were about 80, 84, 85. And I said, what was that? And he goes, that was my straight change.
Nice to come up with a new toy. And not sure where that 2-0 pitch was. Looked as if it was at the knees, and 3-0 pitch right down central.
I'll see one thing working with Dave Duncan. He's really learned that not to max out. He used to be a guy that would just try to throw the ball through a brick wall, back off a little bit, sacrifice velocity for command, throw more strikes, also use your secondary pitches to get hitters out early in the count. Brendan Ryan snuck in behind the runner Phillips at second base, and that can disrupt a lot of pitchers. So you do exactly what Brad did. You just step off. You don't always have to throw, but you have to step off and not throw a pitch with your second baseman or shortstop out of position.
Game starts when you want to.
That's right.
3-1 pitch to Votto, and perhaps being a little careful with one of the hotter Red batters. Votto aboard with Penny's first walk of the evening. Reds with a couple runners aboard here in the first. For former Cardinal Scott Rolen. Always good to see Scott, even if he's in another team's uniform. And he's off to a pretty good start with the stick. 5 home runs, 10 RBIs on this season for Rolen.
Yeah, he leads, and look at that. It's hard to fathom that. The base is empty. 326, all 5 of his home runs, under 200 when runners are on base. I'm sure that will, even out as the season goes along, but in the early going, it's hard to fathom.
First pitch misses high and in from Penny, and looks as if his command is off a bit. Yadier Molina looking into the Cardinal dugout. You wonder if he's perhaps looking for an indication of what might be wrong with his starter's control, looking in Dave Duncan.
Oh, he's walked only 3 prior to tonight in 28+ innings. So falling behind hitters is a little unusual.
Scott Rolen swung the bat very well in that first series in Cincinnati. Had a home run, almost had another one. And we know what kind of a third baseman he is. He does have 3 errors on the season, but just such a solid player in so many ways.
Last 9 games, just under 300, and he's there for provide a lot of leadership, but also by example what he does on the field.
There's a ball hit on the ground to short. Ryan to second and on to first. Double play. And Brad Penny makes a pitch. Gets out of the top of the first. Schumacher, Jay, and Pujols when we come back. Here in St. Louis, Brad Penny threw up a 0 at the top of the first inning, and the Cardinals will see if they can thrill their fans here in the bottom of the first inning with a little bit of offense, as we've got some young fans enjoying Cardinal baseball here tonight. And we'll take a look at the Cardinals batting order. Skip Schumacher, John Jay, Albert Pujols. Matt Holliday will hit cleanup. Colby Rasmus swinging the bat very well, leading all of baseball at on-base percentage. Yadier Molina, David Freese, Brad Penny, pitcher batting 8th, and Brendan Ryan will go against the right-hander looking for his first victory of the season, Johnny Cueto.
His 4 previous starts, only 1 has been a quality start, meaning 6 innings or more, 3 runs or less. He can still get it up there. He's only 24, I'd hope so, but he's just kind of an enigma a little bit. His first major league debut, he struck out 10. It was kind of the sensation of baseball back in 08. And our first look at him, he got crushed by the Cardinals, probably still to this date his shortest outing of his young career. And Skip Schumacher's had some success against him.
Schumacher more than any Cardinal at .455 against Johnny Cueto. And he's behind in the count 1-2.
Isn't it weird this year? You see Skip is batting .207. He's batting over .450 against left-handed pitching. That's what he's always struggled against. And always been one of the better hitters in the National League the last couple of years when he's hit .300 against right-handed pitching. But if you're batting over .450 against lefties and you're only batting .207, there you see the deal. .169 against righties.
Pitch just misses away. Count evens to Schumacher. And he's one of those guys that can be streaky. A couple of years ago, he got off to a really poor start and then was able to turn it on and have a good season. And his seasons keep getting better. Each year, his average gets better. And he fouls this one off, making Cueto work here as the leadoff hitter in the Cardinals half of the first inning.
Cueto's got a very good changeup, fastball in the mid-90s. He's got a breaking ball. Looked like he shook off the changeup to go back to the fastball. Here's the changeup now.
Schumacher way out in front of that changeup, and that's really, I would say, his best pitch is his changeup. He's got a good fastball, changeup. His breaking ball is so-so. But as you mentioned, Al, just a great young talent that's still trying to figure out how to put it all together.
Kind of that influence, fastball away, of Mario Soto, particularly with the changeup. Ricky, I don't know, you were contemporaries. Well, you were in between.
I saw Soto.
You saw Soto,
I
right?
played with Soto, actually.
Okay. And, to me, he was the first guy that was a real significant 90-plus pitcher that had a great changeup.
And not much of a breaking ball.
No. He got away with it and pitched well.
2-2 pitches hit into center field, and back goes Stubbs, the speedy center fielder. And he takes care of Skip Schumacher. We'll take a look at the Cincinnati Red defense. The Reds 4th in the National League at .986. One behind the St. Louis Cardinals. Gomes, Stubbs, Bruce in the outfield. Rolen, Cabrera, Phillips, and Votto in the infield. Ramon Hernandez, not their best defensive catcher. Their best offensive catcher will be behind the plate and work with Johnny Cueto. And here's John Jay looking for hit number 1.
John Jay got a 16-game hitting streak. He started out at Memphis and 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter here, getting his first start.
Always interesting to see the style of a young player and how they have a unique swing. He has an open stance. He moves his hands quite a bit in the box to get comfortable. His hands very low. And then he attacks. And he hits this ball on the ground to Phillips, and he'll take care of Jay, who's hustling down the line. And 2 quick outs for the Cardinals here in the first. And we'll take a look at our Toyota keys to the game. Albert Pujols has scored 132 runs against the Reds since 2001, which is more than any player against any one team. Suzuki, Jeter, and Albert is actually on that list twice. That's how many runs he scores, with 121 against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Hasn't had the greatest success against Cueto.
Day off yesterday. Good thing for Albert?
Great thing for Albert, because the Cardinals scored 10 runs, didn't need him. They got a victory, and he got some rest.
Sure was nice to know that if you did need him last night, you got a pretty good hitter off the bench in the 8th or 9th inning.
Yeah, but you know, it was, as Tony called it, a double header, because he didn't have to, with the early lead, Albert really never had to concentrate coming in and having a late.
Hard hit ball up the middle. Good backhand play by Phillips. What a play. Brandon Phillips shows why he's got a Gold Glove at home, as he robs a hit from Albert Pujols. We're through 1. No score in St. Louis.
To his right and end up on the other side of second base. Slides. Look how quickly he gets up and throws out Albert. He can be an extremely flashy player, and he's become a very good offensive one on top of it.
2 years in a row leading the National League all second baseman in fielding percentage, and he has a Gold Glove to his credit, and a nice play to his credit here tonight. Jay Bruce, the young right fielder for the Reds, leads off here in the second, and he is behind 0-2 on Brad Penny, who has been behind a couple of hitters in the first inning, but he made the pitch he needed, getting Scott Rolen to hit into an inning-ending double play.
Trying to figure out and get Jay Bruce to use all parts of the field. He got really homer happy, tries to pull the ball way too much. See him try to pitch him away.
I thought Jay Bruce had an incredibly slow bat that first weekend series, or first 3-game series in Cincinnati. And he was late on the fastball, and he was early on the breaking ball. He just did not look comfortable.
You're in between, and one pitch speeds you up. You're setting up inside. Got to go inside enough, but preferably you can do it when you can throw a ball. Either the perfect pitch in there or inside off the plate, so you can go back away and get him out.
2-2 pitch is taken the other way, and that ball is going to be all the way to the wall. A leadoff double for Jay Bruce, the second double of the evening for Cincinnati. And the Reds threatening here in the top of the second.
So that's what they want him to do, is hit more balls that way. He's big, he's strong. But when you pull the ball, you know, you're relatively easy to pitch. But if you'll spray the ball around and you go with that pitch out there, you know, there's your, like you say, more of a controlled swing going out there. It was by design that he hit that ball to left, not that he pulled off it.
Not a bad location for that.
No. And, you know, maybe, you know, get it down a little bit more and away from him, but no, more times than not, he rolls over on that one.
Cabrera bunting, Pujols. Molina makes the throw at third, but it's a foul ball, as the home plate umpire Paul Dreckman called that right away. Yachty pounced on it. Pujols was playing in, expecting the bunt, and Cabrera bunted that right at home plate, and Yachty picks this up in foul territory.
He picks it up in foul territory. I was watching Bill Hahn, the third base umpire. I said, boy, that's awful casual the way he called him safe, which looked like he was out. But then as I saw his hands, both of them up there, instead of the safe call, he was holding them up like foul ball. Cabrera wasn't bunting necessarily for a sacrifice. He was bunting for a base hit.
He's swinging here and trying to hit the ball the other way. Cabrera's been a two-hitter before in the lineup, so he's used to this kind of situation, trying to hit behind the runner. He's had some good years in his career.
This is the fourth consecutive start where he's batting in the 6th hole. And he has no RBIs in 12 at-bats.
This ball hit to the third baseman Freeze, and Bruce reads the bat, reads the ball off the bat very well, and goes from second to third. There are a lot of ways you can get from second to third. It doesn't have to be hit on the right side of the infield.
Right. You know, the rule of thumb is, if a ball's hit in front of you, do not advance. But that ball was so slowly hit that he recognized that, and with a good break, by the time David Freese fields that ball, it's behind him.
And now the opportunity for Johnny Gomes. Johnny Gomes with a walk-off homer to his credit.
Jason Mott remembers that.
Yes, he does. Cardinals move the infielders in as the pitch is on its way, and it's a high breaking ball from Brad Penny. We haven't seen a lot of the curveball yet tonight.
No, and we haven't seen quite the same sharpness. And this is the second time the Reds are seeing him, so maybe he's trying to change things around a little bit. There's the breaking ball.
And this is lofted into right field. We're going to see the arm of John Jay as he catches this ball down the line. We're going to have a play at the plate, and he is out at the plate. Good tag by Yadier Molina. And a great throw from John Jay. And it takes care of the Reds here in the top of the second inning. How about that? Matt Holliday when we come back. He makes a nice play to save a run in the top of the second.
He's not real deep, but he makes a strong throw. But here's the key. Watch Molina's left leg. Sticks it out there and impedes the forward progress of the runner. So he never does get to home plate. He gets tagged out before he covers it. And a nice double play, the second one of the night for the Cardinals.
Good play by Yadier Molina blocking the plate, and good play by John Jay making that good one-hop throw. So we've seen some good defense already here tonight for the Cardinals.
That's right. And Mark Ferry, the third base coach, is looking at the 8th place hitter coming up there. The Cardinals could pitch around him and work on Cueto. So, you push the envelope. That's a rookie out there making his first start.
Make him throw it.
Now they got a little more respect for him.
And Jay Bruce runs well, and you know what Yachty can do behind the plate, and he needed to do the job he did to make that play work. Matt Holliday is jammed. One hopper for Joey Votto. One out for the Cardinals here in the second. For every Cardinals win during this homestand against the Braves and the Reds, you can take $5 off Lowe's box seats for the Nationals and Marlins series, and that'll be May 17th through the 20th. This could lead to a discount as high as $35, meaning free tickets. Stay tuned and save. The Cardinals have already swept the Braves, so how high will the discount go? For more info, visit Cardinals.com.
Those tickets right now are $15. And if the Cardinals win out this series, they'll be free.
As if Cardinal fans needed another reason to root for their beloved Redbirds. That's a good one.
Cardinals and the players are both trying to help with the economy.
Colby Rasmus swinging a very good bat this year. 344 is his average. But what you also like about the center fielder is his ability to get on base via the walk.
He's leading the National League in on base percentage. Leads the team in walks. He's almost to 1/2 of his total of a year ago. Seeing those young ladies, we want to wish happy birthday to Megan Brown. She's not quite driving yet, but she's probably 3 or 4 now. But
well, let's hope not.
Jeff and Tammy Brown, their daughter Megan.
Boy, that looks good. And so did that until Brandon Phillips takes care of it. A line drive off the bat of Rasmus is out number 2, and Johnny Cueto has retired 5 straight. Visit FoxSportsMidwest.com for exclusive videos shot by none other than the Cardinals' Brendan Ryan and Joe Mather. You don't want to miss this. In today's featured video, Brendan Ryan puts on his chef's hat and grills up some ribs. You've got to see this. A lot of other fun clips at FoxSportsMidwest.com.
Two-time Gold Glove winner for Yachty the last 2 years.
And there's a base hit. First pitch swinging. And Molina's aboard as we'll take a look at that pitch location to Yachty or Molina.
Watch this set up away, but he leaves it more in the inner part of the plate. Fastball just down and in. You know, a lot of pitchers today pitch down and in. But in my era, and Bob Gibson was the first one to tell me, you do not throw down and in.
That's a danger zone.
Danger in. Not, you know, we always talk about a left-handed hitter, but even to a right-handed hitter, they just drop the bat head and just smoke it.
Ball 1 to David Freese, the offensive star here yesterday. He turned 27 2 days ago and hasn't stopped hitting since. 6 RBIs.
That was a rookie record, those 6 RBIs. That is average, 328. Now has the home run and 14 RBIs. And really settling in defensively now.
A lot has been made of that defense early on, but you look at Scott Rolen, you don't worry about his defense. He also has 3 errors on the season. So
Scotty's got 7 Gold Gloves.
Yes, he does.
And you give him the benefit of the doubt. David still, you know, has to convince people. But from the get-go, Tony La Russa was saying, Chris Maloney, his AAA manager, said that David Freese has no problem fielding. You know, he was even questioning why would anybody even ask. And they kind of felt like once he, you know, kind of got acclimated here, got his feet on the ground, he would play very good defense. And really, if you talk about, he had 1 bad inning. He had 2 of those 3 errors in 1 inning.
This ball hit deep to right. Back goes the right fielder, Bruce, to the track, to the wall, and he makes the play right up against the right field wall for out number 3. David Freese gave it a ride. Not quite enough here in the Cardinals' second. Jaime Garcia, Adam Wainwright, or Chris Carpenter, and interesting to see the early tallies. If you want your vote to count, text ERA space, then the letter A, B, C, or D to 432-432. Very interesting that Adam Wainwright, Al Raboski, getting the most votes early on. Do I see a phone in his back pocket? Is he texting them himself?
No, I just hope it's a 5-way tie for the best ERA in the National League. I'll put Loesch in there too, but Jaime's been outstanding. Brad Penny, you know, Jaime is in the top 10. Brad is, I think, what, 2nd or 3rd?
Here's a breaking ball hit to center. Back goes Colby, and he's going to have enough real estate to take care of Ramon Hernandez for out number 1. And we take a look at the Cardinals' start. The lowest earned run average through 22 games since 1952.
Brad Penny is 4th. Jaime Garcia 5th. Adam Wainwright 12th. And we know that Chris Carpenter won the ERA title last season.
Good pitching all the way around. And we also have our friend in the booth, Jim Hayes.
Who would have thought at the start of spring training that a poll like this would have Jaime Garcia in 2nd place ahead of Carpenter? Wow.
That's how good he's been.
Yeah.
And Johnny Cueto takes strike 1. We remember Johnny Cueto getting hurt last year, Al, against the Cardinals here in St. Louis, swinging the bat.
Yeah, it seemed like he did a hamstring or something.
And he swings hard enough to hurt himself again and comes up empty.
The Reds had quite an eventful arrival in St. Louis last night. I was talking to Scott Rolen. And he said upon approach and about to touch down, the plane lurched to the right, and the pilot immediately pulled up.
Well, Johnny Cueto lurches to his right and goes back to the Reds dugout.
And they announced they were going to make another approach. The crosswinds were too strong, and the plane almost tipped as the wheels were about to touch. And Scott said, when I was younger, I would have thought, ooh, this is fun. Now with a couple of kids, he's thinking, it's not that fun.
Roller coasters are fun when you're 10, but not when you're 40. Back to the top of the order, and Drew Stubbs. He has yet to get on track here. He's a very, very talented young player. He's got tremendous speed, and if he hits the ball on the ground, we'll watch him run to first base. I mean, he can fly. He has 7 stolen bases, just not getting on enough.
Dusty Baker, by the way, said he heard a lot of brave young men, players, scream. And Rolen said those weren't screams of fear. They were screams of anger at the pilot.
Well, they made it here.
Yeah.
Not much sleep, and then they've got to go against Brad Penny. There's a good pitch down at the knees. Dusty Baker, we mentioned, 3-time Manager of the Year in the National League for his work with the San Francisco Giants. Very well-respected baseball guy, kind of a player's manager.
Yeah, there's a rumor that he's in the final year of his contract, that he requested a contract extension. He denies that. But I'm sure, like anyone else, he'd like to know where his future lies, and if it's here or elsewhere. But he won't be unemployed for long.
Well, I would imagine he'd be able to get a couple-year extension and an extra box of toothpicks. Probably what he's looking for.
A very good player. Played against him.
Oh yeah.
Atlanta and Dodgers.
There's that split finger from Penny that misses down and in. Count even now on Drew Stubbs. Brandon Phillips will hit next. And the 2-2, and that misses. Cardinals are 6-1 in series openers. And there is the former Cardinal general manager, Walt Jocketty, whose job it is now to turn this Reds club around.
Well, he's got 3 young starters on his staff right now. Volquez is on the disabled list. They got the young Cuban, Chapman.
This ball hit hard to center field. Back goes Rasmus to the track, and Colby getting a lot of action in center field here tonight. And he's running them down. No score. Penny will hit first. As the Cardinals pounded out 10 runs on 10 hits here last night. And we'll see what they can do against Johnny Cueto here in the bottom of the third.
Hey, Ricky, I was very saddened to learn when I got to the ballpark today with real great Cardinal fan and just a great person to all of us years ago. And he's been under the weather for many years, but Dorian Magwitz died today. And Hamilton Jewelers for all those years. And
great friend of the Cardinals.
Great friend of the Cardinals, you're right. And we're so sorry to hear that. And our deepest sympathies go to Bernice and the rest of the Magwitz family.
And the Cardinals will send Brad Penny, Brendan Ryan, and the top of the order and Skip Schumacher. And the Cardinals, Jim Hayes, have seemed to have found some offensive resurgence after going to this pitcher batting eighth thing. What say you?
Well, maybe it takes a little of the pressure off Brendan Ryan. I think that's the initial design as Penny strikes out. But a day like yesterday, Pujols not in the lineup, a bunch of guys getting their chance, and David Freese steps up. Tyler Green goes deep. And Tony says that's a pretty good lineup even without the big guy in there. You think eventually over time Brendan will get things straightened out as well?
And we'll see if he can get it done here in the third. If you're traveling this season, take the Cardinals with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Cards game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Cardinals.com for details. Local in-market blackouts will apply. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere.
Yeah, I had responsibilities last weekend back in Hungary, where I'm an admiral in their Navy. And I text Dan. And I said,
wait a minute. You have a uniform for that, Al?
oh, yes.
You do?
Yes. I also have a ship.
How big is it?
It's a minesweeper.
How many ships in that Navy?
One.
All right.
We used to have 150 miles of coastline, but we kept on losing wars. So now I'm down to a minesweeper in the Danube. But anyway, I text Dan and I said, hey, if Tony says, you bat the pitcher 8 and you're looking for offense, I said, when is he going to start batting the pitcher 8? It was last week when we were out there in San Francisco, and sure enough, we come back here and we find the pitcher's batting 8. He says he does that when he's, thinks the team is offensively challenged. And to your point, I think he was in agreement with you, Kat, that the team was so heavily dependent on the home run ball. Nearly 50% of their runs have come via the home run.
Well, you got Skip, who wasn't hitting well, had a big day recently, and Brendan, who's had ongoing offensive problems. And the thinking is it's harder to hit in front of the pitcher, put him behind the pitcher, and maybe you can get him jump-started.
And you have two position players, so Albert now becomes a cleanup hitter after the first inning.
And the 3-2 pitch is grounded to the first baseman, Votto. And we'll see if that pitch was a strike. Brendan Ryan protecting there. That pitch might have been a bit away.
No, but you got to swing at strikes if you're going to protect the plate. And that ball clearly way outside by Fox Tracks, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And light rain is beginning to fall. And settle in and get used to it, folks. Another reason why to hurry up and get a lead.
Always want to get a lead when rain is in the forecast. And Skip Schumacher, hitting with 2 outs, nobody on, has sure of getting on base in front of John Jay. And Cueto delivers a strike at the knees. Tony La Russa told us yesterday he was a little discouraged that there wasn't a lot of hoopla about him batting the pitcher 8th, and he said, boy, maybe I should have done it, let him hit 7th, just so I could get a little more interest.
Skip Schumacher gets the second hit of the night, and Cueto has a shot at it. Probably should have made it, as he's in a pretty good position. And a real tough play for Brandon Phillips. Last year we said Skip Schumacher hit 300 for the third consecutive time, second time as a starter, but he had 15 3-hit games. That's one of the difference. We got to get those big multi-hit games. He had one earlier this week where he got 2.
John Jay found out he was going to be getting his first big league start tonight. When he got to the ballpark, sometimes Tony will give a player a heads up. Couldn't have seemed more unaffected. Just, I'm ready for this.
Pretty nice defensive play by John Jay to end the second inning. The Reds were threatening, threw out Jay Bruce at the plate, a strike, one-hop strike to Yadier Molina. Ball in the dirt.
Nice bonus for his family. His family was in town to see him, and they get to see him start tonight.
That's always great.
Yeah, that's the one thing you think about with these players.
That puts more pressure on.
Yeah, well, it does. But you realize it's not just his thrill. It's the thrill of his family. It's his high school coach. It's his little league coach. And a lot of people kind of enjoying the fact that he's getting a chance to play in the big leagues. And they are happy now as John Jay gets his first big league hit into the left field corner.
Ground rule double. Must have bounced into the stands beyond our sight lines.
And somebody better go up in the stands and get that ball.
Go get it. I'll find out where it is and make a trade.
First career Major League Baseball hit for John Jay into the left field corner. And just as important, gives Albert Pujols a chance to hit, or will
he won't. And you see the ball just running away and really goes down, reaches out, hits that ball where it's pitched, and now they will intentionally pass Albert Pujols. Get used to it, folks. And the other day in our poll, they said, how do you pitch Pujols? And people, the winning, answer was walk him. And now they're booing when when the opposing manager takes their advice.
It's okay to believe that's the best way to handle it. It's another thing when you're at the ballpark and you pay money to see Albert do his thing. That changes your perspective, Al.
Kids, you can catch the Cardinals crew tomorrow morning and join Andy Bennis and U-Man as they watch Fred Bird help out around Busch Stadium. Cardinals crew made possible by Shriners Hospital for Children. And that airs tomorrow at 11 a.m. on Fox Sports Midwest. And there's Schumacher, our runner at third. John Jay, first big league hit, is at second. And Albert, the runner at first for Matt Holliday, with a chance to do some damage with one swing of the bat against Johnny Cueto. Interesting that Johnny Cueto walked Albert pitching out of the windup. I don't think I've ever seen an intentional walk with a pitcher throwing 4 pitches out of the windup.
Why would someone do that?
That's a good question. You didn't realize?
I'm talking to 2 pitchers.
The guy,
well, I don't think there's a good reason.
You're not taught to do that.
Right.
It's not a good reason. But I mean, they can't go anyplace. It's not like, guy can steal on you because they're at second and third.
And the pitch to Holliday is taken high and in.
Pat's really fighting it at home. 2 for 15 on this homestand. And remember, last homestand, the first one, he didn't get his first hit until the last day of the homestand. He got 3.
Yeah, he's jammed again. He was jammed in the first inning and bounced out to the first baseman. Holliday with 4 career Grand Slam home runs, and boy, would that thrill this crowd here tonight.
And you can almost book it. When it's all said and done after the season, he's going to be hitting 300 at home.
No doubt. The 1-1 pitch. This is in. And Holliday, one of those players that even if he's not having a good day, can still hurt you in the 8th inning of a game with one swing of the bat. I think Ryan Ludwig's that kind of player. It's what the power brings you.
Well, we know it's the proper decision to walk Pujols, but Holliday's going to make people pay. It's only a matter of time.
Ball fouled off of his foot. Good sinking fastball from Cueto, who stayed out of the middle of the plate for the most part here tonight.
And Holliday's career, he's a .375 hitter with the bases loaded in 4 grand slams.
Four out of 13 first pitch strikes for Johnny Cueto. The 2-2 is taken high. And now everybody will be running. Now he should pitch out of the stretch, and we'll see if he does that here. That's what we're taught to do too, Al. Or will he go from the windup?
I don't mind the windup in this scenario, but, you keep an eye and don't let that guy break too quick at third base.
Well, a double scores 3. The 3-2 pitch to Holliday is a base hit to left field. 1 run scores. 2 runs score, and Albert goes to third base. A little 2-out magic for Matt Holliday.
Ricky, you and I know as a pitcher, that is the worst thing you can do with the bases loaded is get into that full count where the merry-go-round starts. That now a little base hit like that becomes 2 runs. So you run the count full, they get a great start. He kind of hangs a breaking ball 3-2, sits right there, and Matt Holliday drives into. He needed that, didn't he?
And Skip Schumacher, the runner at third, was almost home by the time this ball got into the outfield. Look how far he is going towards the Reds dugout. Base hit. I'm going to come in the side door.
Get the guy out. He can be standing at the plate.
Now a big hit for Holliday, and now it's Colby Rasmus's turn. Rasmus with 12 RBIs on the season.
There's the John Jay baseball in Oquendo's hip pocket. So they did retrieve it.
I was thinking that was a cheeseburger.
Oh, Eric Gregg is retired. You were part of that team, weren't you?
I was. Tommy Lawless actually did that. Took a cheeseburger out to Eric Gregg when he's the third base umpire and set it on the bag at third.
Of course, Tommy could do that because he knew he wouldn't play that game. And Eric Gregg did eat it.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
Outfield playing Rasmus deep from left to right. Colby showing a lot of power. 6 home runs on the season.
We talked about how Cueto really not hitting the strike zone on first pitch. Watch Hernandez try to just sweetly bring that ball right back to Freeman, just to try to help sell it. Box track show you is clearly outside, but a little sweet hands bringing it back over to the middle of the plate, or to the corner, trying to sell it to the umpire.
2-1. And that's one of those that you can't do it too obviously, or you might upset the umpire. You have to kind of do it smoothly.
Not doing anything here, just catching the ball.
That's right. You're always trying to make friends with that umpire if you're the catcher behind the plate. 3-1 pitch to Rasmus. Just catches the outside corner. Colby not too sure of that one.
Ricky, how about when you were pitching and you had a lead? Would you hate it when you got one of your players arguing with the umpire?
Oh, yeah. Leave him alone.
Leave him alone. We're working fine.
We've been getting him on our side for 5 innings, and now you're going to alienate him. The 3-2 pitch is a swing and a miss. And down goes Colby Rasmus. But the Cardinals pick up a couple of runs. Matt Holliday, 2-out magic. On to the 4th. Plus tags. Brad Penny's first pitch of the 4th inning is to Brandon Phillips, the Reds' second baseman. Matt Holliday, a 2-run single in the bottom of the 3rd, gives the Cardinals a 2-0 lead here in game 1 of this 3-game series. There's a ball hit back up the box, and it hits the second base bag and rolls into center field for a base hit for Phillips. He's now 2 for 2. Saturday, May 1st, Bank of America brings you a collectible canvas print featuring the 2009 National League MVP Albert Pujols. It's available to 25,000 fans of all ages. For ticket information, call 314-345-9000 or visit cardinals.com.
My calendar, that's tomorrow.
It sure is, and I understand that's an awesome print.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the promo, it looks outstanding. And you have a tremendous, today was the, what's it called?
The Sluggy?
Sluggy?
Snuggy.
Sluggies.
I still can't get that
it's
right.
A Sluggy.
It is a Sluggy.
Yeah, that's the thing on TV.
Dan was trying to teach me what those were, and I'm still not tracking it, but I'd love to have one.
Got the, I think it's the Albert Pujols bat on Sunday.
Big series here against the Reds. The Reds winners of 4 straight games. The Cardinals have won 5 straight, including the 4-game sweep of the Atlanta Braves. 2-0, the count to Votto. And that pitch is, I'm guessing, low. Not getting the low strike at all. That's the second time.
Red kind of looked in there, and you notice when he went to bat, he said something to Bruce Druckman, our home plate umpire, and if he was trying to
schmooze him a little?
Schmooze him a little bit.
Well, it didn't work. Sometimes what the pitching coach will do.
Dave never smoozes.
Yeah, might be a different word.
It's more
influences. And a check on the runner at first. Brandon Phillips does run well.
It's a 2020 man again last year, Brandon Phillips. 25 home runs, 20 more stolen bases.
Only 2 for 5 in stolen bases this year, but he won't have to work to get to second base as Joey Votto has walked for a second time.
Brad Penny saying, I'm trying to get the ball down. I'm trying to pitch in the bottom strike zone and not getting the cooperation of a hitter either swinging at it or getting the umpire to call it.
Well, I think he's missed some low strikes for both pitchers in this game, and that's a pitch that you want to get. And really what he'll be trying to do here with Scott Rolen, bounced into a 6-4-3 double play to end the first inning, and Brad Penny would like to see that happen again.
I'm saying more the triple play.
All right. I don't believe I've ever seen a triple play. Have you?
You've never seen one?
I don't believe so. Not counting Little League.
Oh, I've seen a few of them.
Really?
Oh. During my playing days and also broadcasting.
Watchful eye of Dave Duncan. 1-0 pitch is a bit outside, and Yadier Molina has a couple of words for his pitcher, Brad Penny. And what an important relationship, Al, it is between Brad Penny and the pitching coach, Dave Duncan. That's as important a relationship as you're going to have on this field. The catcher and the pitcher, as well as the pitching coach and the pitcher.
And a lot of people wondered what that would be like. We can tell you is they are on the same page. Penny has already, bought into what Dave Duncan is preaching. He rarely will he reach back and throw a maximum velocity, trying to get hitters out on fewer pitches, go deeper into games.
And some people would wonder, Al, why wouldn't a pitcher be listening to his coach? But if you're a pitcher at this level, you've been told somewhere, you know what, you have to be your own best coach first. And you have to be careful about trying to do everything everybody tells you. So you're pretty stubborn.
Well, he came in here, he's won 105 Major League games.
Exactly.
He's finished third in the Cy Young Award. He's had a couple back-to-back 16-game seasons. So as we get our first lightning flash beyond the left field, but now we get our thunder.
It's about 3 seconds.
That was Dave Duncan talking to the home plate umpire about low pitches.
That's his schmoozing. The 2-2 pitch is a base hit to left field. Holiday comes on, gets rid of it quickly, and they're going to have the runner held up between second and third as Freese onto second base, and they've got all kinds of mess, but they're going to end up getting out. Brandon Phillips at second base as Drew Stubbs Joey Votto, actually the runner, is out at second base as Brandon Phillips, the lead runner, did not score on that base hit to left field.
It wasn't exactly where you teach a rundown, but it was effective. And I just wondered, was that Mark Bailey, after having a runner thrown out early in this game, gets a little gun shot. So he holds up Phillips. So there you see Brad Penny, who's telling him, hey, we got a man trapped off. Now Freese sees that the runner at second base put his head down, and he was going to third. So they get him in a rundown. Not the way you teach it, but effectively they do eventually tag him out, and still no runners score.
Good thing Brendan Ryan ducked on that throw from David Freese. A base running mistake for the Reds. Gives Brad Penny a chance to get out of this inning.
And the Cardinals have already turned 2 double plays. Can they turn a third to get out of this inning and no damage?
And there's a bloop hit over the head of David Freese, and that's going to be an RBI scoring Brandon Phillips. And the Cardinals very thankful of that base running mistake by Joey Votto, because it could be a lot worse right now. Didn't get much of this, Al.
Yeah, just look at this little flare. Just gets over the head. Freese knew playing even with the bag, there's no chance he had it. So Bruce 2 for 2, both of them going to the opposite field. And that broke a streak of 17 consecutive shutout innings by Brad Penny. Still has a lead.
And lost on that base running mistake is the good throw from Matt Holliday, and that play went 7-5-4-6.
Another reason why.
And if he doesn't hit the cutoff man, it doesn't work.
Mark Barry held the runner at third base because the quick release back in at a trajectory, and then it was able to be cut off.
Hit on the ground to Freese, tough hop, and he handles it to Schumacher, and on the first. And the Cardinals turn their second double play, and their 28th of the season. 5-4-3, 2-1 Cardinals, bottom of the fourth. And we look at the best winning percentage of March/April since 2000. And this club off to a very good start. And last year they were 16-7, 15-7 going into action.
Yeah, so you see the victory here tonight. They tied last year's opening month mark.
Kind of a mark of a Tony La Russa club as Molina lifts one into right field. Pretty well hit, but handled by Jay Bruce. Cardinal fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats that you want or to sell tickets to the games that you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace. of the St. Louis Cardinals. You'll find great seats and great service on StubHub all season. So go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. David Freese lined out to right. His first trip, as the rain has now slowed down a bit here. Got a little heavy in our break between innings, but it's slowed down as Freese bounces it to Brandon Phillips for out number 2. And we still have a little bit of thunder in the area. And we've got a lost Minnesota Twin fan. Came to the wrong ballpark. Told his friend drop me off at the Midwest, and he came to the wrong city.
No, I mean, somebody told him to really go find a really, really, really nice new ballpark. So they found one.
There you go.
Minnesota ballpark is extremely nice. Rave reviews.
And so is their ball club.
Yes. A good one.
They're 14-8. And the Cardinals are out. 1, 2, 3 here in the 4th. On to the 5th inning. We're almost official. 2-1 Cardinals. Plays here tonight. The second. John Jay throws out a runner. Jay Bruce at the plate. That's double play number 2. And a 5-4-3 double play from David Freese is double play number 3. Well turned by Skip Schumacher. John Jay has participated. And the Cardinals defense is shining here tonight. And we have 3 more outs for Brad Penny to get to make this game official as the rain continues to fall ever so slightly out.
That is so important on a night like this with a very ominous weather report, and rain is going to come, and it's going to last throughout the night and then well into the morning. So there is a strong possibility this could be a shortened game. So need 5, but if you're the home team, you only need 4.5 if you got the lead.
Bottom of the order for the Reds here in the 5th. Gomes, Hernandez, and Cueto. Gomes flew out to the right fielder, Jay, and started that second of 3 double plays. Cardinals now with 29 double plays on the season, and jammed a bit, hits this ball way up in the air, and back goes Rasmus to the wall, and he makes the play. That ball carried to center field on almost an inside-out swing from Johnny Gomes.
Well, it looked like he almost knocked the one hand off the bat as that ball was so far inside. And let's get 2 more outs as more lightning. But you're right. I think Kobe Rasmus was just flabbergasted that ball went that far, that he thought that it would be maybe a step or 2 back, but not all the way to the wall.
Did a nice job of checking out the wall, turning his back, running right to that spot, and making the play. He's been very active here tonight. The offense has been good, and his defense has been good in 2010. I think his next level is to be a little more effective with his throws to the plate. We know he can do that. He just hasn't been able to really uncork one like we know he can.
No, we've seen a couple times him come up and make the throw and just throw it right into the dirt. But he has a strong throwing arm.
A little more thunder here, and a foul ball into the seats. We'll take a look at Exmo Can, Plaza Tire Auto Service, Brad Penny.
You see a lot of these pitchers today. I remember Andy Bennis. And, he was a big man like Brad Penny, and he had huge hands, but he was holding his middle and first finger apart like Brad does. Now that's a splitter grip there. But a lot of times when you still throw their fastball, they still have a split. Were you ever taught that?
Most pitchers would have your fingers
straight together.
Actually straight together, because you're creating a more singular force vector, Al, of which you don't want to have kind of competing force vectors which would slow down the velocity of the ball.
Is that something you learned in Virginia?
Physics 101.
Physics 101. Okay, well, I can give you Physics 3. It means the ball moves more.
Okay. And that would be the Magnus effect that makes the ball move now. That's a C- answer, by the way, I'm giving.
Yours. Mine's an A+, because I'm the professor. But seriously, I mean, especially when you got big old fingers like these guys do, that, you know, put the fingers together and then you get more movement. You hold the, you spread them out a little bit. One, you don't get as much movement, and you can get more velocity when they're together also.
And walk number 3 for Brad Penny. And let's take a look at this grip again of Brad Penny.
See how he kind of lifts that the index finger off the ball, and then he re-grips it, but it's still split, and that's a little bit space in between the two, and that's his fastball.
There's a bunt by Cueto, and this could be trouble if fair, and Penny picks it up and barely gets Johnny Cueto at first, and that was a tough decision for Brad Penny to make. Does that ball go fair or not, or stay fair or go foul? And he gets an out. Cardinals camp out is presented by Bass Pro Shops and Tracker Boats. And, well, it's back again. Friday, May 7th, the Cardinals are taking on the Pirates. Come spend the night on the field and under the stars at Busch Stadium. For tickets, call 314-345-9500 or visit cardinals.com/campout.
Big out right here. You got the tying run, potential tying run out at second base. You got a guy that's struggling, batting 191. The on deck hitter is Phillips, who's 2 for 2, and obviously a much more dangerous hitter. I don't know if I want to test the center field wall at one more time. Perhaps throw 2 long fly ball outs to
try something
Stubbs.
Rain falling a little bit heavier, Al.
Yeah, and you get an official game if you retire him and maintain the 2-1 lead.
Even if the Cardinal outfielders are thinking maybe play in a little bit more because we really want to try to cut off this potential run on a
catch-22. The ball's carrying when it's hitting the air too, so it's 2 outs. Bank on that he will get him out, and he does.
Hit on the ground to Ryan. 2 hopper, got to be quick, and he is, and that takes care of the Cincinnati Reds in the top of the 5th. This game's official. Cardinals lead by 1.
You're trying to get a ground ball. This was the last pitch that he threw to Stubbs. You split the middle and the index finger apart, depending on how far back you put it into the web of your hand, will take more and more velocity away. You saw the thumb kind of tucked straight underneath it. You can kind of adjust that thumb up and down a little bit, but you have more command of it when it's straight underneath it.
What a great look that was with our slow-mo cam of the grip.
I love that. Brought to you by Plaza Tire Centers.
And a good look of the rain here at Busch Stadium. Brendan Ryan leading it off for the Cardinals here in the 5th, and some of the umbrellas are going into some use here as the Big Mac sign, Al, has been fixed.
It's been fixed. Holiday knocked out that C the other day, and finally they had some time to fix it up. It's a lot brighter, maybe with new neons behind it. The new neons
doesn't really match the other letters,
no,
does it?
Doesn't.
1-2 the count to Brendan Ryan, stuck at 156.
Do you think the Cardinals ever thought they were going to have to repair that sign? And
I don't think
had to
so.
do it with Albert, and now this year with Holiday.
.94-mile-an-hour fastball just misses the inside part of the plate. Cueto has very good stuff. We talked about both he and Edinson Volquez as being 2 very good pitchers in this rotation. Ball hit on the ground, foul to third. Volquez, as Cardinal fans may remember, has had just an outstanding rookie season. Then he got hurt, so he's on the disabled list. Won't be ready until the middle of this season as we get some more lightning here at Busch Stadium. But he also has another issue, Al, and that's his performance-enhancing drug suspension.
But I don't understand that. Apparently, they're letting him serve it while he's on the disabled list. Now he doesn't get paid, but it seems like it's catching a break.
So it hurts him, but not necessarily the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, and I understand that, but if he's not on the disabled list, it hurts the Reds and him, or anybody else. And then wait till we see Chapman. He's their 22-year-old Cuban defector who they gave $30 million to. And he's at, he's in the minor leagues, but it won't take long before they'll have him up here in the big leagues. They already got 3 guys under 25.
And there's a base hit for Brendan Ryan in the gap, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Ryan rounds first, heads to second base. A leadoff double for Brendan Ryan. Great to see that. He got a full count pitch and handled it very, very well.
We saw the first time him really expanding his zone, swinging a pitch outside. This is more of what you want to see him do. Drive the ball back up the middle. Take that full swing instead of leaning. Fans, what they can see, they like.
Sounded good. I heard the crack of the bat underneath that umbrella.
Sometimes that does tell the story, doesn't it?
Hey, give our fans some credit, Al, for being, isn't that awesome? They're out here tonight. Got the umbrellas. They're prepared. Sacrifice perhaps here, or hit the ball on the right side and line drive, and it is a double play as Cueto takes that ball right off his shoe tops, turns and throws onto second base for a tough luck double play. That ball was hit very hard by Skip Schumacher.
And look at it right there. His momentum carries him as he falls a little bit towards the first base side, and his glove hand is right there, spears that, and a tough running play for that runner at second base.
Not sure he can do much about that.
They tell you get a secondary lead, you go out there, and it's just one of those things that people say, well, you can't get double up on line drive. Well, it's not as easy as that all the time.
Well, it's not really clear whether it's going to be a ground ball or a line drive because it's hit kind of half in between. And
then if he doesn't score, you're sitting there going, what's wrong with him? What's he loafing?
That ball does get up the middle if Cueto doesn't make that play.
Especially now that things are getting wet. Slick grass, it'll go all the quicker through there.
Everybody congratulating Brendan Ryan in the Cardinal dugout. They're happy for him. They know the pressure that he's been feeling to produce offensively.
And Dan, it's a pressure that's self-inflicted, more so than any of his teammates or his coaches. Mark was making the point the other day with me. It's like, hey, whatever's going on, we're working on it. He's working extremely hard on it, but he's taking that Gold Glove defense out to the field. He's not letting it affect him defensively.
1-2 pitches high. And the two positions on a field that you can do without the offense, not that you want that, but you can do without it, would be behind the plate and the shortstop. If they're playing well defensively, they're worth their weight.
Absolutely. Anything they give you offensively is a plus. And, Yadier Molina is much more than is many pluses. And Brendan hit 292 last year.
You always talk about players, and you almost sound like you're insulting him when you say that, and that's not what we mean to do. But Dal Maxfield, the value he brought to the Cardinals with his glove, even though he was not clearly a power hitter, and there's some other guys that, even Ozzie Smith early in his career, till he really got to become a very, very good hitter.
There's been some outstanding. Mark Belanger, Baltimore, was just worth his weight in gold. To look at the Baltimore those times was known for their pitching.
Right.
A lot of that was because of Mark Belanger and Brooks Robinson on the left side of the infield. Did you know Cuellar? He recently died. But hate to see that. There you see the weather that's coming in.
And that's not for Cardinal Red. That is for activity.
Severe.
Ominous activity, I believe, is the word you said earlier. And a full count now to John Jay. John Jay with a double in the third inning, and he scored the second Cardinals run. They lead 2-1 batting here in the fifth inning, and John Jay with his first big league hit. Good for him. Full count and a swing and a miss, and that takes care of Jay and the Cardinals here in the fifth. On to the sixth inning. Phillips leads it off. Prior to
yesterday.
And who was it? It was Scott Rolen. August 19th, 2003. Scott Rolen against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Julian Tavares, former Cardinal, had something to do with that, Al.
He served up that one.
And the rain's falling a bit heavier and may start affecting Brad Penny as he works here in the 6th inning. Only 61 pitches, and that's what rain looks like with our super slow-mo camera.
And they're on the scoreboard. The National Weather Service issue a severe weather warning, which includes the downtown area, so they're advising the fans to seek shelter if needed.
And I think that would be a good idea, not something to play around with. So fans need to find a safe place here.
Yeah, there are designated areas here at the ballpark, which are displayed by green signs, and some umpires will do a good job of trying to keep this game on, but they are not going to allow somebody to get hurt.
There's a curveball for a strike. We haven't seen too many of those pitches from Brad Penny, and again, wondering about the grip as we move forward in this game. The rain's impact on both pitchers out.
Well, I always find that it's easier for the pitcher to protect that grip, much easier than a hitter, and a distraction for the position players. So pitcher really, once again, he's in control. If he doesn't have a good grip, he can stop. He can kind of guard against it.
And the sluggy is the gift here tonight, and I don't think he's really got the direction straight.
Well, he's figured out some use for it.
Well, he's here, along with a lot of Cardinal fans watching their Redbirds try to win their 6th straight game. They played very well at home. The Cardinals are 8-2 at home, and they're 4 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds in the National League Central going into action here tonight. The Reds, we've mentioned, swept the Houston Astros.
They're at 500, and everybody in the Central Division is below 500 to get past the Cardinals and Reds.
And early on, the National League Central, if you take a plus-minus of everybody in the division, add them together, right now, at least, it's the weakest division in baseball.
San Diego's kind of turned things tipsy-top.
They've got
Turvey as they off to a great start.
They've got pitchers I don't even know who they are, Al, and
they're pitching.
And they're pitching well. And they're beating some tough teams. Swept the Giants.
And Adrian Gonzalez.
He can hit a little bit.
Will he be there? How long will he be with that glove?
Well, if they keep winning, they may have to keep it. 3-1 the count to Joey Votto, who's already walked twice, and it looks as if Brad Penny is being very careful with him. Again, the rain falling. It's a live shot right outside of Busch Stadium here with the arch in the background. And
Penny's walked 4 tonight. Coming into tonight's game, in his first 4 starts, he only walked 3.
And he has just 2 strikeouts on the night. Not his overpowering stuff, but he is pitching. He is finding a way to get outs, get the 3 double plays, which of course have been a big help. And he'd like to see another one here. Scott Rolen did bounce into a double play his first time, base hit in the 4th inning. And that's a ground ball to third. Freese dives and has a play at first, and he throws out Scott Rolen. And a nice play by David Freese, who had no chance to get a double play on a pretty tough ball hit to his left.
And, give him some credit here, too. That ball's going to be wet. It's going to be slick. It's a tough play right there, and you've got to get one. You've got to get one. So he makes the quick decision that is my best option to go to first base. Low throw there, but Albert picks it.
And David Freese, a St. Louisan, has to understand the significance of taking a hit away from Scott Rolen.
And I'm sure Molina's going to go out and talk to him about the scenario. Bruce tonight is 2 for 2. He has a lone RBI for the Reds. First base is open. Cabrera on deck, who's hit into 2 of those 3 double plays.
And Jay Bruce had 7 hits in the last 4 Cincinnati Red games coming into action tonight. It added to the 2 for 2.
I was going to say one of the double plays, and he had grounded out And you would think, even though Mark Berry had a runner thrown out, now with the rain and how slick and wet it is out there in the outfield grass, you have to send a runner on a base hit.
And we'll see if he does. Base hit to center. Rasmus comes on. And no chance to even come home as the throw comes into second base. And we have a tie game here in St. Louis. A 2-out RBI by Jay Bruce. His second RBI of the night. And we'll see what Mark Berry was thinking at third after we look at Fox Tracks.
He set up away and the ball just got up. He could reach it, sends it back up the middle. Here you see there's no question about it. You're going to send a runner home. By the time the ground ball gets out to the outfield, it's going to be pretty wet and slick.
Colby also playing very deep for Jay Bruce, and we've talked about how the ball's carrying to the outfield today.
Sure.
Outfielders have to play deep, and you got really no chance to throw out.
I would think, just looking at the way the rain is coming straight down, I would think right now the ball's not going to carry as far, but you still can't take that chance and play too shallow.
The wind really has stopped in the ballpark here. And a steady rain continues to fall here at Busch Stadium. Cabrera 0 for 2. Bounced out twice. And he is in the hole now, 1-2. Brad Penny has just 2 strikeouts here tonight. And he's walked 4, given up 6 hits. And we'll see what they want to do with Cabrera here, 1-2.
That would throw to first.
We knew that was coming, didn't we?
Yeah. Fastball away.
It's fouled off at the plate.
Getting a lot of balls up, in this start that we're not accustomed to seeing. He's just been so good.
Well, we can give him some leeway, perhaps, Al, that was not getting the low strike early on. Is that part of it?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Most of the time you tell somebody, hey, keep on doing it.
Right.
Splitter here. See, even that pitch is up, but it's been a little bit of a fight for him, but still, he's pitching here in the 6th inning. He's allowed 2 runs to this point, under kind of strange conditions.
It's a little uneasy on the mound, the way he's moving with his arm.
Fastball away.
2-2. And I think he's having trouble with the grip. He keeps looking into the dugout here, and going to need to get a pitch here. If he can make it happen here, the Cardinals have a chance to get back up on top in the bottom of the 6th inning, but he certainly seems agitated by the baseball and by the way it feels. And
it even looks slick. Looks a little more yellow than white. Fastball away again.
And the 3-2 to Cabrera is swung on and hit over the head of Skip Schumacher and into right field for a base hit. That's the 7th hit of the night for the Reds, and Reds are not done here in the 6th inning. And Brad Penny is talking to the home plate umpire about needing some help there on the mound as he gets this ball right off the shoe tops.
Well, you see the splitter is going down, and he gets the pitch he wanted, and just credit. Good piece of hitter by Cabrera. Now he does have the rosin bag out there.
He just asked for a new one. It looked as if he was asking for one.
And he looked like he wanted it, the batter before, didn't it? Keeps on looking in the dugout like you said, and just having a little trouble. Normally we see him so many times. He may use that rosin bag. Then he takes his hat off. He wipes his hair, as he's trying to get a little moisture on top. He's got plenty of moisture tonight.
He really seems out of sorts, doesn't he, Al?
Yeah.
I mean, he just does not feel comfortable at all. And, he's going to have to just gut it out here because the umpires are not going to stop play. 1-0 the count now to Johnny Gomes, who's 0 for 2. And he just needs something good to happen right here. I'm not sure he knows where the ball's going right now. 1-0 pitch is low. And this is some kind of a mental exercise for Brad Penny.
I mean, he's worked so well with Dave Duncan. You almost look like he's looking over there. Okay, Dave, what do I do? What do I do?
Right.
Well, once you get between the white lines, it's hard for that pitching coach to help you. You got to figure it out yourself.
And his ball hit on the ground and into left field past a diving Brendan Ryan, and that base hit gives the Reds a 3-2 lead. 3 2-out hits. Bruce, then Cabrera, now Johnny Gomes.
Well, you see that comes out there, he throws the ball and gets it down. Gets a ground ball, but it finds a hole. Is Brendan Ryan playing a little bit up the middle. Billy Hatcher, the first base coach, talking with Johnny Gomes.
Well, a single just over the head of Skip Schumacher, following by a ground ball single to left, and things are not going well for Brad Penny here in the 6th inning. And he's not done yet. Ramon Hernandez hits with the pitcher up next, and
how about that?
The runner takes off. He wasn't even looking at Orlando Cabrera, and he takes third base.
It's kind of like how he's in his own little dream world right now.
Well, do you pitch to Cueto? Do you be careful here with this batter Hernandez?
It sure looks like they're pitching around him, but I mean, I just don't like to concede that, especially load the bases, and then you're at the mercy of throw strikes.
And it looked as if that was a unintentional walk to load the bases for Johnny Cueto. And Brad Penny needs something good to happen right here. Cueto, a strikeout victim, then a sacrifice bunt in the 5th inning. Reds lead 3-2. They've out hit the Cardinals 8-5. And it's been a rough, long inning for Brad Penny. Only 61 pitches coming into this inning. But he's worked hard here. And there's a first pitch strike. And we'll see if he can get 2 more. Now you're almost hoping against the wild pitch here, too.
Exactly right. Which can happen with a slick baseball. And you're just not getting that call. I mean, he's just missing a little bit, but
pretty good pitch there.
Yeah.
Perhaps
is the pitcher up too, and there are these conditions.
And Johnny Cueto not catching up to that fastball again. 1-2. Cueto hitting 200 coming into this game, so he knows how to hit a little bit.
He's 1 for 5.
That's just a little bit. This ball slicing foul down the right field line. And 1 for 5 means that he hasn't lasted very long in his start.
Exactly. And the reason why you'd only had 1 quality start through his first 4.
He did have 2 starts in this season where the bullpen lost leads that he had. Cardinals will have the middle of the lineup, Pujols, Holiday, and Rasmus, to answer if Penny can get through this inning, and he's just pumping fastballs right down central. That one at 97 miles an hour. Not a lot of movement here, though. It's like he's a little afraid to try to do too much with it.
Right. In some ways, we've seen a lot more fastballs tonight.
And Cueto is struck out for the 2nd time. Brad Penny gets through the 6th inning, but a little trouble. Couple of runs. The Reds lead. Pujols coming up. Matt Holliday with a 2-out base hit. That plated 2 Cardinals, and they took an early 2-0 lead against Johnny Cueto. The Reds answered in the 4th inning. Jay Bruce, a little bloop single over the 3rd baseman David Freese. That made it 2-1. The 6th inning, a little problem in the rain for Cardinal starter Brad Penny. Jay Bruce, another RBI base hit. That tied the score. And then Johnny Gomes came through with a ground ball base hit in the hole to give Dusty Baker and the Reds a 3-2 lead. And then the rains came down, and the tarp was put on the field at approximately 8:55. And just about a 2.5-hour rain delay for both of these clubs to deal with here tonight. We appreciate you sticking with us. Had all kinds of pleasurable moments up here with Al Raboski in the booth over the last couple of hours, and we're just about ready to get underway, Al.
Sure are. Got a lot at stake right here. Want to finish this ball game, win the first game of this 3-game set. Mike Lincoln, the former Cardinal, he will be on the mound. He's last 7 appearances, he's posted an ERA just over 1. On the season, the ERA is 3.27, and he's appearing for the 10th time. It's our Chevy call to the bullpen. Mike Lincoln, you know, on the disabled list last year with the bulging disc in his neck. It's been a couple of years, almost 3 years, trying to battle back from his Tommy John surgery. And, you know, what a good guy. We're happy him back in the big leagues. But good luck. You got to face Albert.
Yeah, great stuff. And a long rain delay, and he'll face Albert Pujols. We've seen some very good defense in this ball game here tonight. And we'll show you our Home Depot defensive play of the game. And that was turned in by Johnny Cueto. The Home Depot doing more on defense, and it's Cueto nabbing a line drive off the bat of Skip Schumacher, and it turned into a 1-6 double play, and we've seen a fair number of double plays in this game. The Cardinals have turned 3, and excellent defense all around. We had a bit of a pitcher's duel going on between Brad Penny and Johnny Cueto, and they'll both be out of this game, of course. Mike Lincoln will take over for the Reds, and the few fans that have stayed here are excited that they get to watch Albert Pujols hit again.
Well, let's hope he can tie this game up. Send those fans into a little bit of hysteria.
Now, if this game did not resume, Al, the rules would have been that this would have been a suspended game, which would have been continued tomorrow because the Reds scored 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning, and the Cardinals didn't have a chance to hit. Right. But now they're getting their chance, so assuming the Cardinals get through this inning, this is a full game, and the first pitch is a curveball for a strike. 2 hours and 32 minutes officially for the rain delay. 1 strike pitch is a base hit down the left field line for Albert. That's a good way to start the bottom of the 6th. And Albert can hit any time of night.
Well, once again, just a remarkable hit. Watch the replay as he's tied up inside, and watch how he hits that with one hand. Backhand, he takes off the bat as it's jammed inside, and yet most people can't hit and make contact. Or if they do, they pull that ball foul, and yet he has an uncanny ability to make that ball go fair. Good pitch, but a better hitter.
That's remarkable what he was able to do.
You know, you always talk about pitching up and in, and that works for most people, but not always with Albert. And look at the success against Lincoln. Should be happy it's just a single.
And Matt Holliday, with his 2-run single in the 3rd inning, is responsible for the Cardinal offense here tonight. And he takes a strike, I guess, at the knees. That's the pitch that Paul Dreckman was not calling for a strike before the rain delay. And both pitchers did not get that call, but perhaps with the rain and the weather,
it shouldn't have any aspect to it, especially now that it's not raining.
And this ball hit hard to center field, right at Drew Stubbs. That ball hit on the nose by Matt Holliday for the first out here in the 6th inning. And that'll bring Colby Rasmus to the plate.
And now maybe a pitching change as Daniel Ray Herrera, a little lefty, will be coming in here. So Dusty here in the 6th inning. It's a big out from Lincoln, and now he's going to go to his bullpen and bring in his little screwball specialist.
Mike Lincoln waited a long time to pitch that 3rd of an inning, and Daniel Ray Herrera is our Chevy call to the bullpen, and he'll face Colby Rasmus when we come back. 45% of the vote, and the Jaime Garcia hysteria continues. Everybody excited about him. He actually beats out Chris Carpenter. How about that, Alan? I'm surprised by that.
Well, he should be.
Hey,
that's what a 2.5-hour rain delay will do to you.
Free country, you get to vote.
Sure.
I think Brad lost some votes when he gave up a couple earned runs in the 6th inning. But we appreciate you participating, and first pitch to Rasmus is taken for a ball outside.
Well, Herrera features a screwball, and you can see his numbers. But when you have a screwball, you usually are more effective against right-handed batters than lefties, and his numbers bear that out.
And that fastball at 82.
Left-handed batters are hitting 333, 3 for 9 off him, and right-handers are 1 for 17.
And Rasmus picked up a couple of hits against Atlanta against their lefties. And maybe he's seeing the ball a little better from the left side. Ball popped into left field, shallow left field. Long way to come for Johnny Gomes, and he sloshes through the outfield and makes the play. And how does Herrera pitch to the left-hander, Colby Rasmus?
A lot of times that screwball gets taken away, by a left-handed hitter. But we'll look right here. Set up away, just a fastball out there. He comes back, finishes him off, another one, then a little breaking ball, and that's when he popped up into left field. Long run, but Johnny Gomes made the play.
Yadier Molina, 1 for 2 on the night. Hits with Pujols aboard at first base, and the left-hander Daniel Ray Herrera on in relief.
Turn that one over a little bit. Throwing that screwball, which primarily will go down and away to the right-handed batter.
Incredibly difficult pitch to throw. Not many pitchers can get their arm in that position to throw this pitch.
If you can, it really doesn't have a tremendous strain on your arm. But like you said, it's very difficult for most guys to control it if they do throw it. And it looks very awkward.
Think about Bill Campbell, the former Cardinal reliever, after all those successful years in the American League, came over, and he did not throw very hard, but very difficult to pick the pitch up, for one thing. And you're right, you actually finish with your arm kind of straight down towards the ground, and it's not that hard on your arm. It's just difficult to get the right grip and the right release point.
Yeah, the curveball, we're left-handed, so we're going to throw it to our right leg. Come all the way across and pull down and almost hit your right leg. Or the screwball, you end up throwing it, and you end up taking your backhand, take your backhand and put it to your outside of your left leg.
Almost like you're throwing the front of the ball, you're throwing over top of it, your wrist is facing outward, and Herrera with that screwball, 3-1 is the count now on Yadier Molina. And he steps off. Very difficult pitch, Alan. That screwball, I guess you're pronating or supinating is the right word. Ball hit foul. So the
curveball, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to go across.
You're actually pulling it down to your right leg as a left-hander.
The screwball, I'm taking it back, and I'm actually throwing it this way.
And again, that looks like it hurts, Al.
Ouch. I'm locked. Help me.
Okay, Al, here you go. This ball hit into center field, and Stubbs tracks it down in left center. Almost gets to the warning track. Cardinals don't score in the 6th. 3-2 Reds. And the Cardinals will play these same Cincinnati Reds here tomorrow, and you might say pretty soon. Pregame coverage begins at 11:30 in the morning, and we are just about at 11:40 on Friday night here, as we had a 2-hour and 32-minute rain delay, and we resumed bottom of the 6th inning. The Cardinals not able to score. We go to the 7th inning, and Jason Mott, Al Roboski, an interesting choice here to begin the 7th for the Cardinals.
Well, I think we think it's interesting because it is in the 7th inning. Mott, last time out, he picked up his first save of the year, second of his career. And just the fact that, sometimes you just don't know what he's going to do. that I kind of think like Kyle McClellan would be a guy to start an inning and just have things under control.
And he probably will just have one inning, as he is set to hit second in the bottom of the seventh, and he misses wide with that first pitch, but follows with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. And his breaking ball is getting a little better.
Well, yes, it is. He's got a couple different breaking balls that he's working on. You got Trevor Miller warming up, so if he gets in any kind of trouble, he'll be coming in to face the on-deck, the in-the-hole hitter, Votto.
And it looked as if the Cardinals dugout was concerned that Mott might have landed funny, so they asked Yadier de Molina to go out and check and make sure he's okay.
The very first delivery, the one that almost hit Stubbs, he kind of landed awkwardly, and he's trying to get the mud out of his cleats now. There's that breaking ball. It's a little curveball and a slider. That's all they've done for the pitchers in the last
That's it.
40 years.
That's it.
And it doesn't work very good.
Nope.
Tongue depressor works much better.
It's kind of like soft and really doesn't work. It really doesn't work very well. You're
no,
exactly right.
it's rubber, and it just collects a lot of mud and dirt in there, and it just
you're going to clean your shoes off with that.
It gets so soft that, like you said, it doesn't really dig in and get the mud between your cleats.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make the ball harder. We're going to lower the mound. We're going to let players get bigger and stronger, and we're going to give you this rubber thing on the mound.
Take away all the foul territory. Put the fans closer, so any of those foul balls now go in the seats and not into a fielder's glove.
3-2 is a called strike three. That pitch looked down and in. And Drew Stubbs does not like the call, but it's out number one for the Reds here in the seventh, and we'll look at it on Fox Tracks.
Got to be ready, especially it's a fastball. See there that Molina is set up outside. Rarely or oftentimes an umpire won't give you that call if you miss location in or out. But it was a strike, and we're happy you got it.
Brandon Phillips is 2 for 3. He doubled in the first, singled and scored in the fourth. And a check swing is strike one against Jason Mott. 94 miles an hour. You've got to gear it up against Jason Mott.
Well, a lot of times, we've seen Jason, throw near triple digits. Usually he's more consistent around 90, 95, 96 rather than 97, 98.
Handled by David Freese for out number 2. After the game, Cardinals Live is broadcast from the Aqua Bar at Lumiere Place Casino. Watch player interviews with Pat Parrish and Rick Horton bringing you the post-game coverage, and you're also going to hear from Tony La Russa, and that's always a treat, especially when the Cardinals win. Cardinals Live after the game on Fox Sports Midwest.
Love it over there.
I do. Pat's a great partner, I must say. And he's had a long day, hasn't he?
Don't worry about that.
Nah.
We'll stay all night for a victory, won't we?
That's exactly right.
What's the longest game you ever participated in?
It was a 17-inning game in Houston when I was with the Dodgers.
Nothing.
And I watched the last 6 innings back in my hotel room.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
Nice to be in good with the manager, I guess. 3-2 Reds. And in the 7th, Sarah qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit Munganest North County Hyundai or a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. David Freese leads off for the Redbirds here in the 7th inning, and there's a breaking ball from Daniel Ray Herrera for a strike.
Ricky, I think you were in 5th grade when I was involved in that 25-inning game.
I wondered if you were in that. I've heard Red Shanings talk about that game many times.
Well, let me tell you the sequence, because it started on getaway day here in St. Louis. Lou Brock broke the stolen base record. By the time we got to New York, after all the news conferences and everything, it was 5 in the morning. First game in New York, we're in the top of the 9th inning. My recollection is Rizzi hits a home run and ties the game. I pitched 9th, 10th, and 11th. Mike Garman came in and pitched a couple innings. Claudo's team pitched 9 1/3 shutout innings in relief.
Out of the bullpen. Oh, there's a base hit up the middle. That ball hit hard by David Freese. Then the Cardinals have a leadoff runner aboard here in the 7th.
He got a no decision. We end up scoring when Baker fried. They tried to pick him off first base, circled the bases, and that was the only scoring. Ended at 3:30 in the morning. We get home at 5 in the morning to the hotel. Stavano is going to pinch hit here for Mott. The next night, we're play the game, but we have a long 3-hour game.
Which would be a short game in today's standards.
Yeah, but it was a long game for us, and we didn't. You know, we had virtually no food. We had to bus to Philadelphia to see now McClellan. The second bus, the animals, no coaches, anything. We double park on 3rd Avenue for an hour and a half to get beer, wine, and sandwiches to take to our bus trip to Philly.
I'd have had to be on the other bus.
And I think
sorry,
and I think we had everybody's luggage from the first bus. We get into Philly at 5 in the morning.
And another base hit. Nick Stavanoa off the bench delivers a pinch hit here in the 7th inning. And the Cardinals making some noise. 2 runners aboard. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, David Wright and the New York Mets take on Ryan Howard and the Phillies in a showdown between the bitter National League East rivals. Coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball is presented by Budweiser at a special time of 2 p.m. Central, following This Week in Baseball at 1:30 on Fox.
My stories are getting us into a rally.
Keep going.
So the second
Don't
game,
stop.
I failed to mention I pitched another 3 innings. Now their first game in Philadelphia go like this. We're in the top of the 17th inning. We score 5 runs. Before they can get us out, we endure a 2.5-hour rain delay.
Bunt situation here for Ryan. Watch out at second base. Close play. He is out. At second base, David Freese is picked off of second base by Ramon Hernandez.
Well, he sees that. He's assuming the bunt's going to go through, and look at there. They get back there. Look at the left leg. Seals his approach to second base. He never gets there.
And that's a good defensive play.
He's dropped that,
by Orlando Cabrera. You're allowed to do that.
Drop that knee. It's just like catcher breaking, stopping the slide at home plate.
Boy, that's a big
17
blow.
innings, 2.5-hour rain delay. Resume play at 3:30 in the morning. They started a rally. I started warming up
again,
and how we got the final out is the guy fell down between first and second on a sure double. We tagged him.
I tell you what, sleep's overrated, Al.
But the next week, we were the best team after midnight. But the next week, it took a toll.
I would imagine so. Well, the Cardinals would like to win this one after enduring a 2-hour and 32-minute rain delay. They led for most of this game until the Reds picked up 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning during, I guess you'd say, it was pretty heavy rain. Brad Penny trying to work through it, gave up a couple of runs. And Brendan Ryan way out in front of a screwball from Herrera. I'll tell you, this is a tough pitch for Ryan to hit when he's having trouble with his balance and his timing.
I mean, you just flat out almost got to put all your weight on your back leg.
Stay back, stay back, stay back.
Stay back, stay back, and try to hit the ball to right field. Of course, you got a gap there, too. He stayed back.
How about that? Base hit. 3 straight hits to start the bottom of the 6th inning against Herrera, and the Cardinals with just 2 base runners to show for it as David Freese was picked off.
Now, this last we're going to see from the little lefty here is they got Arthur Rhodes. We talked about the screwball is more effective against the right-handers, but not tonight. As look at how, now there you see a good idea of how much torque that puts on your
How about his
arm.
face, Al?
Well, you got to grunt and grind to get all the way through there.
I tell you what, I'm in pain just watching that delivery.
Well, I can also tell you, I tried to throw it and I broke 3 ribs.
Skip Schumacher. Cardinals trail 3-2. They've got a couple runners aboard here in the 7th inning. Johnny Gomes is our Hardy's prime cut of the game. As he delivered a base hit to give the Reds the lead in the 6th inning. And he's hurt the Cardinals a couple of times this year. Arthur Rhodes, the veteran left-hander, takes over for the other left-hander, Daniel Ray Herrera.
He's 40 years of age now. He's making his 790th career appearance. 10th appearance this season for the Reds. And now will counter with Ludwig pinch hitting for Schumacher. So that costly pickoff of Freeze out at second base with 3 consecutive base hits. We only have runners at first and second and 1 out. But Ryan Ludwig can make himself a hero right here.
Ryan Ludwig getting a rare night off. Tony La Russa platooned him a little more last year, but he's been in the lineup almost every night in almost every inning, and he's pinch hitting here in a key situation. And he takes a slider for a ball. Ludwig with good numbers on the season and a chance to do some damage here in the 7th inning.
Also been swinging a hot bat as he's 6 for his last 21, a 5-game hitting streak. See how deep they're playing. A couple factors there. They don't want a ball over the head, but also because it's so wet, that ball will scoot along and you much quicker out there in the outfield.
It's amazing how good a job the grounds crew did, Bill Finley and his crew, just getting this field ready to play. Of course, the design of the field is able to, because of the drainage, take a lot of water, but a ton of water on this field, Al, and they got it ready pretty quickly.
Sure did. I mean, they probably could have sped it up about 10 minutes or so, but the umpires told them that. And
right.
We're back playing in, good conditions.
I was kind of thinking you were meaning we could have sped up the rain about 10 minutes quicker, so Brad Penny wouldn't have had to give up those 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning. Very difficult conditions for him to be pitching in.
And if you kind of go back and play it back in your mind, it's the ball and the slickness. It bothered him a lot more than what you might have believed, and he could have asked for a new rosin at one time. He should have done it a little sooner.
1-2 the count to Ryan Ludwig. 2 runners aboard for the Cardinals in the 7th inning. Arthur Rhodes set. And you appreciate the fans who have been faithful throughout the night to stay here and root for their Cardinals and hope that they get to see the rest of this game. These are some tough people here, Al.
Sure are.
The 2-2. Yeah, swing and a miss, and down goes Ludwig. And there's 2 Cardinals outs here in the 7th inning. And I want to remind you that 6 is a serious number. When the Cardinals do score 6, you get a 20-ounce coffee, frozen drink, or a fountain drink for just $0.25 the next day at On the Run at Mobile. Win or lose, when the Cardinals score 6 and they got some work to do, you score 25-cent drinks at On the Run at Mobile.
Tyler Green is now going to pinch hit for John Jay. Ludwig will go into right field.
And Tony La Russa using his bench here in the 7th inning. Down now to just LaRue and Joe Mather.
Brian Price, the pitching coach for the Reds, out to talk to Rhodes, give him a little scouting report about Tyler. Who hit his first home run of the year yesterday in his first start.
It was a long one too. He's got pretty good power. He's not a real big guy, but when he gets into one, he can hit it a long way.
Well, he had 15 home runs last season for Memphis. That was second most on that club. Had the most stolen bases in the Cardinals minor league system. He put on about 10 pounds of muscle this offseason. Former #1 draft pick. Always noted as a very good defensive shortstop. Showing signs at times of blossoming as a hitter. He's signed out of Georgia Tech,
where he was a big-time hitter. All-American there. And that's a great baseball program at Georgia Tech. Omar Garcia-Parra.
There's many more.
Former Texter. And he faces Arthur Rhodes, and
Garcia-Parra and Veritek there at the same time.
Right, I think so.
And their coach, Jim Morris, did such a good program with Georgia Tech that he's now at Miami, one of the more prestigious jobs in all of baseball.
And they've always
College
had a good
baseball.
program.
Yeah.
You bet. A lot of national championships there. Arthur Rhodes, the 4th Reds pitcher of the evening. Cardinals with a chance to tie this game, and perhaps even more. 3 hits to start the 7th inning for the Cardinals. David Freese, Nick Stavanoa, and Brendan Ryan. But David Freese getting picked off at second base, while Brendan Ryan was attempting a bunt.
And the shame about that, sometimes when a guy bunts through a pitch, you know, you get fooled as a runner out there. But he pulled the bat back, and that's even harder to make an excuse for it. And he'd be the first one to tell you he screwed up.
No question. And a good play by the Reds. Orlando Cabrera getting that tag down.
Can you save the at-bat for Albert?
1-2 the count to Tyler Green. Stavanoa the runner at second. Outfield playing deep for Tyler Green. And the 1-2. Fastball just misses. Good movement up and away.
You saw Hernandez jump inside the catcher, trying to give that feeling for the hitter that the pitch is coming inside, and then he bounced outward.
The 2-2. And that ball is low. And the runners will be moving. Now a gapper might score 2. And Arthur Rhodes does not want to walk Tyler Green.
Make sure you throw a strike.
And he won't face Albert Pujols, as the right-hander is loosening for the Reds.
Massive.
Rhodes checking the runners. And the 3-2 is swung on, hit on the ground to third. Scott Rolen gobbles it up and fires it across the diamond, and that takes care of Tyler Green. And we are through 7 here in St. Louis. 3-2 Cincinnati. St. Louis Cardinals, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. And our score, 3-2 Cincinnati, top of the 8th inning. And the Cardinals will bring on their 3rd pitcher of the evening, and it'll be the right-hander Kyle McClellan.
Appearing for the 9th time. He's lost a game. Got a couple holes. 3rd consecutive season he's been out of the Cardinal bullpen. Starts Scott Rolen off with a breaking ball.
It'll be Rolen, Bruce, and Cabrera for the Reds in the 8th. Rolen is 1 for 3. Bounced into a double play, a base hit in the 4th, and bounced out in the 6th.
He's their ball club with 5 home runs, and showed a graphic earlier. He's much more dangerous with nobody on.
And he pops this one up. Albert Pujols should take care of it, and he does. And we should also, Al, express our condolences to the Ted Search family of Chester, Illinois. He's a longtime Cardinal fan. The whole family has been, and Ted passed away on Thursday. And he was involved with Joe Cunningham for many, many years. Works here with the Cardinals with the Chester night at the ballpark.
Sure. And Joe, recovering from hip surgery. Many, many friends, and we understand Joe's doing very well, and we sincerely pass along those condolences.
And Jay Bruce, 3 for 3. Bats against McClellan here in the 8th, and McClellan gets ahead of him 0-2. Bruce with 2 RBI hits in this game, in the 4th and again in the 6th. Good curveball from McClellan makes easy work of Jay Bruce, and we've got 2 quick outs here in the 8th, and Kyle McClellan looks pretty sharp here.
Well, Kyle, when he's throwing strikes, and he has so many weapons, so if he can get ahead in the count on you, a hitter really cannot look for one pitch. It's hard to eliminate pitches from him because he has the ability to throw 4 of them for strikes and all real quality.
Really, that conditioning to be a starter, really not a bad thing for him to work on all 4 of those pitches.
But there, Cabrera gets fooled, and maybe the umpires, that looked like a pretty good breaking ball, but Cabrera went bailing out.
was an interesting reaction by Cabrera. That's the kind of bailout you see in a Little League game, Al. Yeah, somebody throws a breaking ball they've never seen before, and you just kind of jump out of the way. And a line drive right at the shortstop, Brendan Ryan. Good inning for Kyle McClellan. Albert next. And Nick Massett, the right-hander, will take over for Dusty Baker here. The Cardinals with just 2 chances left against the Reds. Nick Massett has appeared in 11 games and has become the 8th inning pitcher for Dusty Baker.
Well, you see that ERA over 12. That's not indicative of what kind of stuff he has. You know, opening day he gave up 5 runs to the Cardinals in 1 inning. Then he had a couple of other bad outings, but in between he's reverted back to his form of a year ago. Very good setup man.
And he will have Pujols, Holiday, and Rasmus. And the 1-0 to Albert.
Last year, Massett was 5-1, 2.37 ERA, 74 games as their setup man, and that's more indicative of how he throws.
Good pitch to hit here. Don't be over anxious. And it's 3-0. Is he swinging here, Al?
If Albert wants to swing, he swings. But you know, you just ask him to look for a pitch that he can drive. It wasn't what he was looking for, so you take it. You do the same thing on a 3-1 pitch. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Albert trying to slow Massett down a bit. And the 3-1 to Albert is hit on the line to center field. Stubbs is not going to be able to run this down. It hits in front of him for a base hit. Albert hit that ball very hard. That's his 2nd hit of the night to go along with an intentional walk. Good night for Albert.
Stubbs playing deep, and here's 3-1 pitch. You can see it right there in the middle of the plate, a little bit outside, but he's looking for a pitch out there, taking it right back up the middle.
And he's crushed some balls up the middle of late.
Well, I think it's always a good sign. That's one thing that, you talk to Mark McGwire, that's what he preaches. Hit the ball up the middle. And for guys that are, if the ball's inside, they can turn on that.
And Holiday turns on one, but jammed a bit and pulls it foul. Pitch in on the hands of Matt Holliday. Holliday's 1 for 3. His base hit in the 3rd inning scored 2 Cardinals and gave them the lead temporarily. Cardinals with 2 in the 3rd. The Reds had a run in the 4th and 2 in the 6th, and we stand at that score, 3-2 Cincinnati.
Very few pitchers have the ability to pitch inside consistently.
And he goes in there again.
So you're conscious of the middle of the plate and away. Trust your hands that you'll be quick enough to where you can just foul off the pitch that's inside. And more times than not, a guy trying to pitch inside, he's going to leave it middle half and in, and that's your pitch that you can drive out of the ballpark.
And there's another fastball in.
If he can go up and in like that, you're going to be very successful against a lot of hitters, particularly with Holiday.
But you make a mistake in there, and you got to watch out.
You can get burned. But and years past, it was a lot easier because umpires let you pitch more. Hitters didn't expect it to be knocked down. They expected that guys were going to pitch inside and pitch off the plate.
1-2 to Holiday is slider down and away.
Today, umpires get freak out if a guy pitches inside. But you know what? It's kind of funny. The guys that win pitch inside.
No doubt. And you don't even have to throw hard to do that.
No, you don't. Tewksbury? You threw harder than Tewksbury.
Timmy Garcia up here with us threw harder than Tewksbury.
Tewksbury threw 70% fastballs, but he spotted it so well.
The 2-2 pitch. It's a big one to Holiday. And it's hit down the right field line, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Pujols round second, and he's headed to third. And he is safe at third. A base hit for Matt Holliday, and the Cardinals have the tying run at third base in Albert Pujols.
And nobody out. Second hit for Matt Holliday. You just start having signs of him having some luck, getting some base hits, and look out. Both these clubs are very good at coming from behind.
And he went down to get it, didn't he?
Went down to get it. Look at, but I was talking about that ability to look for the ball away or to hit the ball the opposite field. Look at him put his head down and just take off running hard.
And fairly close at third base, so Albert had to get a good jump, and he did. He and Jose Oquendo talking it over. And now Dusty Baker talking it over with his reliever, Nick Massett. He is now out of left-handers in the bullpen, and Colby Rasmus will hit for the Cardinals, so he will get to face a right-hander in a big RBI situation for Colby. And Colby has been good with the RBIs. He has 12 on the season, batting .328 going into this at-bat.
The Cardinals have, there you see Fisher, Carlos Fisher. And Massett, you know, is pitched very well. He's bunched his bad games together. And his last one wasn't very good, as he allowed 2 runs, 2 hits, a walk, or 2 runs on 1 hit, a walk, in just a third of an inning.
Rasmus, the hitter, tying run at third. Curveball in the outside corner for a strike. And here's a situation that Tony La Russa loves to talk about his team. He prefers they don't hit in the bottom of the ninth. They're able to pick up a couple of runs here.
I think this night's been this night and brief morning have been enough.
Long enough.
8.5 would be fine.
Well, Cardinals need to pick up a couple at least here in the 8th to make that happen. A 1-strike pitch to Rasmus, and a swing and a miss on a nasty breaking ball. And Colby just needs to put this ball in play any way he can. Look at the break on this one.
Yeah, and just really swinging over the top. And just Colby kind of talk about, you know, hey, I didn't really see that ball well. I just, you know, was guessing something else and swung blindly.
The 0-2 pitch just misses the outside corner. And this guy's got pretty good stuff. Nick Massett out of the Reds bullpen.
Well, he's 27 years of age, 6'4", 235. He's from St. Petersburg, Florida. He was acquired from the White Sox in the Ken Griffey Jr. deal. So, you know, he was well thought of.
Ground ball gets you a run. Ball in the dirt, and Holliday is going to get down to second base. And he represents the go-ahead run for the Cardinals.
Well, he just really tried to overthrow that off-speed pitch and threw it 58-footer. And lucky that Albert could not advance. As look at he's obsessed with running, but he knew that ball bounced right out in front of the plate. But Holliday gets out in scoring position. As you say, these outfielders, because of the very wet outfield surface, they have to play so deep that any ball hit to them will score 2.
Ground ball ties the score. 2-2. The pitch, and strike 3 right down central. Colby Rasmus is called out on strikes on a nasty curveball from Massett.
That breaking ball, and it was a good one.
I think Colby had trouble picking up the ball from Massett. He just did not look comfortable in that at bat. As good as he's looked at the plate, Al, and as good as his strike zone knowledge has been, he really struggled in that at bat.
I agree with you, because you go back to the pitch he swung at, that was almost bounced up there. Yachty's had a good week with the RBIs. He's tied his career high with 15 RBIs, and in April, can he set a new record?
Yachty's been so good in his career with runners in scoring position #1 and also with 2 strikes. just very good at handling the bat. He doesn't strike out a lot.
Now they're going to walk him.
Very interesting move here. They respect Yadier Molina's ability to hit.
Well, he hit the grand slam opening day off of Massett. I mean, that's just a brief history, but here it is, opening day, and he hits this one out to right field, just over the wall.
And he's not going to get a chance to swing the lumber this time. It'll be up to David Freese. 6 RBIs yesterday. I'm sorry, 2 days ago.
Because today is
Saturday.
Our game started yesterday.
Today is tomorrow, Al. I think is really what we're trying to say. But David Freese had a good day any way you look at it in the series finale against the Atlanta Braves. 6 RBIs, a home run, his second in his career as a Cardinal, first this season. And he had a bases clearing double that almost snuck over the wall.
Franklin warming up just in case the Cardinals take the lead.
Breaking ball misses. Exciting at bat here for David Freese. Cardinals with the bases loaded. Bottom of the 8th inning, trailing by a run.
David's been outstanding in driving in runners.
And he goes the other way very well. The 1-0 pitch is a swing and a miss, a little late on that fastball. Pujols, the runner at third. Matt Holliday, the runner at second. They both had base hits. Yadier Molina intentionally walked as your runner at first. David Freese, a chance to pick up RBI number 15. And a curveball in the dirt. And some pressure right here on Ramon Hernandez, the catcher for Cincinnati, as Massett's thrown a couple of balls in the dirt. He's got that nasty breaking pitch, but Hernandez has to be very alert.
He's a pretty good little catcher that, you feel comfortable as a pitcher. You can bounce the ball up there and he'll block it.
The 2-1 pitch to Freese is swung on and hit on the left side. Rolen to second for one, to first, and it's a double play. David Freese has hit into a 5-4-3 double play, started by Scott Rolen. On to the ninth. We'll be live from Lumiere Place, and we will have post-game sound from Tony La Russa as well as interviews from the players at the conclusion of tonight's game. The Reds lead this one 3-2 as the Cardinals have squandered a couple of opportunities here late in this ball game. Kyle McClellan begins his second inning of work.
Last 2 innings, great starts, 3 consecutive hits in the 7th inning, but had the pickoff at second base. Had 2 consecutive hits, first and third in the 8th inning. Nobody out. Can't push across to run.
And you had the guys coming up. Had the guys coming up you wanted too. Colby Rasmus, Yadier Molina, and David Freese have been the offensive stars in the last week. And you had to believe your chances were good. There's another good curveball from McClellan, and he takes care of Johnny Gomes. Nasty curveball from the Cardinal right hand.
Well, they think he's a fastball hitter, so you throw him something that's got a little wrinkle in it, and bouncing at a pitch that bounces on home plate.
Jason Mott pitched an inning in relief of Brad Penny, who went 6. A quality start for Brad Penny, Al. 6 innings, 3 runs, 8 hits.
You know what that quality start is, don't you?
Well,
it's
right now
arbitration stat.
But right now it has him on the losing end of this 3-2 game.
Yeah, but I mean, and he'd be the first one to tell you that that maybe he even let the weather conditions get to him a little bit that last inning.
Good fastball from McClellan, up and in, and by Ramon Hernandez, who's walked twice and popped out to center field.
Your buddy Lance Nix is on deck.
I don't know if he's my buddy, but I know the man can hit against the Cardinals, and I'm always happy to see him not in the lineup. And a ground ball to second. And Tyler Green, who has stayed in the game, takes care of Ramon Hernandez. Tyler Green pinch hit in the 7th inning. He stayed at second base. And Nick Stavanoa stayed in the game after pinch hitting. And he's in right field. And the pitcher for the Cardinals is batting in the first spot. And here is Lance Nix. This guy looks like a physical specimen, doesn't he? Yeah, I'm guessing this guy can bench more than you and I can, Al. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Probably right. But
you had to think about that, didn't you?
I really don't care.
Not anymore. There was a time you cared. There's a fly ball to center field. And Rasmus takes care of that one. Nick Stavanoa will lead it off for the Cardinals. They've got one more chance. Cardinals, the Giants, and the Dodgers, but the Cardinals in danger of losing here in the first game of the series with the Cincinnati Reds, 3-2. It's been a good ball game, Al, and it's been a long ball game. And we've got Francisco Cordero, the closer for the Reds, for the ninth.
See, 8 of 9 save opportunities. He also won a ball game. That was against the Cardinals. He is one of 11 major league pitchers with at least a save in each 100 saves in each league. He's got 258 total, 117 saves in the American League, and 141 in the National League. He's only 34 years of age.
Got some years left.
He'll turn 35 in May, but from the Dominican Republic. Ricky, you know, I was on assignment last Friday when you lost.
Yes.
You lost the first game of the series.
And we had a hungo that night.
And you started in relief of Dan tonight on Friday night.
Uh-oh.
So are you,
hey, the game's not over yet.
I know it's not. And we're going to take this away because I don't want you to lose 2 Fridays and a Saturday.
There's the ball hit to center field, and it's taken care of by Drew Stubbs, out number 1, and that was Nick Stavanoa, who had a pinch hit in the 7th inning. And Brendan Ryan will now hit with 1 out. And what I'd really like to see, Al, this is what I'd like to see. Albert Pujols hit 1 more time. And the Cardinals would have to get a couple of base runners to make that happen.
Yeah, and almost you have to have a run in. You have to tie the game for that to happen, pretty much. You come up with the bases loaded. That's it. You come up with the bases loaded, and you know he'll drive in a run.
Well, we'll see if that can happen.
Mather is on deck. That'll be the pitcher spot leading off. And Brendan's had 2 hits tonight, 2 for 3.
And a line drive to center field, but this also will be handled by Stubbs. And both center fielders have been busy here tonight. Jay Bruce, a couple of RBI hits for Cincinnati. He is our Budweiser player of the game. 3 for 4, a double, a couple of singles. Scored a run and driven in a couple. And he is swinging the bat a lot better than he did early in the season when we saw him in Cincinnati. And Joe Mather is the last man standing.
See if Joe can extend this game. Tyler Green, who stayed in the game after he pinch hit, is on deck, but it's up to Joe right now.
The game is not over yet, but the Cardinals have certainly squandered some opportunities here tonight.
Most definitely.
Out-hit the Reds 11-8.
They'll find it tough to get very little playing time and keep that bat sharp. You know, Stavanoa's done a pretty good job because he has the most, ABs off that bench, all in a pinch hitting role, and he got another base hit tonight, 1 for 2.
So you get to the park about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's about 12:30 in the morning, and Joe Mather has got to gear up and hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball against one of the best closers in baseball. And timing is everything in this game, and he is behind in the count, 1-2. Cordero trying to close out this victory for Johnny Cueto, give him his first victory of the season, and he overthrows that fastball.
And Joe probably got here 10, 11 hours ago.
And he'll be back here pretty soon.
Inside of that time.
Cardinals down to their last strike.
Right now he's being competitive, and hopefully he'll get a mistake.
And the 2-2 from Cordero is swung on and hit into the gap in left center field. And this ball is down up against the wall. And Joe Mather gives the Cardinals some hope here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the fans who've stuck around are very, very appreciative of what Joe Mather just did.
I think they would have been a little more appreciative if he would have tied the game, but he got the pitch he could finally handle and got that big mighty swing on it, plugs the gap out there, one off the wall, and he's standing out at second base. It's up to Tyler Green to extend the inning to Albert. Then you may get your wish.
That's all I want.
We'll take our chances if, you know.
Tyler Green also has a chance to tie this game with a base hit.
Tyler 1 for 5 with a home run since coming up from Memphis. And another good rip.
And when you're facing a closer like Cordero, you don't want to get too deep into the count. So you look for that first fastball you can hit, you jump on it. Joe Mather trying to get as big a lead as he can off of second base to maybe be able to score. And there's a slider at 88 miles an hour.
And it just couldn't pull the trigger as that ball ended up and in the middle of the plate.
And again, the Cardinals down to their last strike. Mather, the runner at second.
Slider again, but off the plate. It's quick hands of Fernandez trying to pull it back to sell it.
Will we see Albert hit one more time? Cordero has his sign. The 1-2. Misses. 2-2. He wouldn't walk Tyler Green, would he?
He would never do that. But I have a suspicion he might.
I want to get my wish, Al.
I want you to have your wish. Unless Tyler wants to hit his second home run and we can go home, let Albert be a cheerleader.
We've had some exciting moments in this game, spread out over quite some time. And the 2-2 is hit on the ground to Rolen, and he comes up with it. The long throw to get Green, and he's out. As Green dove into first base, a close bang-bang play, and Scott Rolen turns in a defensive gem to end this ball game. And the Cincinnati Reds take game one of the series 3-2. A close play at first base. Is he out?
Looked like he was out. The naked eye. He's out.
And he's out. Good play.
Good
by
effort.
the first baseman Votto as well. And that makes a winner out of Johnny Cueto. Scott Rolen slapping the leather all night.